Alright. We're gonna try and finish this up. My problem right now being I have a quest to model these spacesuits. The problem being is I've done the iconoclast because I had it on me, but now I need to find Marauder and Spacer armor. Now, I've gone back and killed a shitload of Marauders and have yet to come across Marauder armor. And also haven't found anywhere that's selling Spacer armor either, so that's a bitch. Oh no. So this may be the one mission that I give up on. We'll see. Because I don't want to spend multiple hours trying to dink around for this one side quest arena.
You seen Arthur today?
My dry goods come 75. No rubbernecking.
Who dis? Hello? Damn it. Oh, it's Karma. Okay, no wonder so quiet. How's it going, Karma? Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna say, fuck that.
All that screaming.
That side quest. It's not worth it. I've done damn near everything else. I don't need a model for this fappet whore. Alright. So that means I need to...
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen.
Which means I need to go pay this fappet whore to get
We are now in orbit above position, Captain.
Feels bad.
I'll lock up.
Pavarotti and Ellie.
Behind you.
Behind me? Oh no. No, don't want to go to earlier. The retirement district, already been there. I missed. Oh, like how Snobland has elevator music.
I think Leo's level head. Feeling a little off balance? You need a level head.
love Byzantium.
I can't wait to see those. What can I do for you, darling?
No.
Here's my last. There are some things I simply cannot skimp on, darling. Such a lovely young lady deserves the best. Now stand back. Back! I'll enter the settings and get these machines spinning. You'll be broke to bespoke in merely an hour. And there we are, my darling girl. I wish you a splendiferous evening. And if you don't mind my asking, have you any interest in modeling?
What? Oh, no, ma'am. All them eyes staring at me? I couldn't. No way, no how. I get scared just thinking on it.
I wish you weren't so shy, my Violet. You truly are beautiful.
Alright, so I need to talk to...
Can you believe this outfit? It's so handsome, I'm almost afraid to touch it. Well, I guess that's everything then. After all this time, I just have to actually do it now. You know, there's a part Junlei's been looking for to fix up the air cyclers. They only carry... I know. For a while, it felt like everything I did was a little bit of help. And it meant I didn't have to ask her to be mine. Not yet. Not for real. Next time we dock with Groundbreaker, I'm doing it. I'll send June a message and ask her over. Oh, this is real scary, Captain. I'm grateful for all you done.
Dear Lord. Why me? Alright, while we're here, we'll go do this.
Remember that stranger I saw in the square?
Is Maxfield still drinking? You don't much like me, huh, Dr. Ellie?
It's nothing personal. I'm just not the touchy-feely type.
It's just... You seem fine with the others.
We gotta go talk to another vapid
Something
whore.
make you unhappy with me?
Can't you just... It is going well, I hope.
I knew it. I just knew it. What a disaster. Did you get a good look around? What was it like? Truly? Why, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
Got one my
I
ass.
can't believe they kept this from us. From me. The nerve. The audacity.
I really
Here,
hate this whore.
take your payment. I have to fetch my things. I don't care what I have to do. They'll give me luxury or give me death.
Oh, they'll give you death already.
Her words.
Wonder if I can go down and scavenge her body after she fucking makes it in there. Alright, what are we doing next? Hey, my reputation increased for that. Nice.
This property is off limits. Solicitors, loiterers, and uninvited visitors will be fined to the fullest extent of company policy. This ultimatum brought to you by Universal Defense Logistics. That's funny. The minister isn't expecting visitors, and you don't much look like one of those couriers from HPS. Minister Clark's a private man, and you're asking too many questions.
Wait, I have a thing though. Yeah.
Get ready.
Oh no.
I'll take this one!
Well, that's not what I was intending to. Feels bad. That was not at all what I was intending to do.
This property is off limit. This ultimatum brought to you by Universal... That's funny. The minister isn't Sure you are. And what is it you're delivering today? Typical. Why don't you come back when you're ready to actually make a delivery?
Oh, fuck. This could go in the back door. Should finish Pavarotti's love quest, but not right now. Alright, where do I need to go? I need to hurry about it wherever I'm going.
Got your paperwork squared away?
No. Oh shit. Oh.
What was that? Lawbreaker! I saw that! Hey! Soldier! Me? I'm watching for suspicious activity. Well, when you put it that way, look.
Oh. Oh, I guess I... Oh, didn't mean to actually steal that. Well, I kinda did, but... Get the fuck out of my way, asshole. Alright.
You and your pen pal seem to be getting along.
Don't make it small. When you say it like that, it sounds stupid.
Whoa, take it easy. Didn't realize you were so wrapped up.
You're doing it again.
Oh, hey Norg. How's it going, bud? Didn't wasn't even looking up.
You got nimble fingers, Captain.
What's this? There we go.
Great work.
Alright. So now I'm going to go complete my off-world. Okay, gotta go complete that love quest. Sure, DSP acted very well to finding that out. He's a big fan of.
Dead center. Next round's on you.
Oh, what?
What? No.
You want me
No.
to leave?
No, 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 no.
Captain, you can't mean it. Oh, that's a
Oof.
relief. Thanks, Captain, for letting me stick around. I mean,
I figured she actually wanted me to talk to her. Okay, I guess I gotta go back to the groundbreaker for that. Alright.
Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Oh,
Let's talk when you're free. All right. She's on her way. How do I look? Oh, my hands have finally stopped shaking. All right, all right. Deep breath. Here I go.
alright. See if we have a romantic setting on the ship.
What a mess!
Very romantic there.
Anyhow, so I told him, Dad, I'm a big girl now. I ain't need your help. I can do it on my lonesome.
That
What did he
outfit's
say to
not
that?
that flattering, but
Have at it then. And he handed me his favorite wrench, the one he used for the canner. He's probably half as tall as I was.
He didn't scold you for talking back to him?
Nah, he was never like that. I always thought it was funny when I get indignant about something. Then he'd watch me do whatever it was, make sure I didn't get hurt, but he'd never interfere. I learned a lot that way.
I wish I could have met him. Anyone who helped shape you must have been a special person.
oh.
I'm trusting you to keep Parvati safe.
Look at me. All dressed up for once.
Alright, so yes, I really do have to leave. I can't check out the lovebird scissoring. I mean, what? Do I want to go out with Pavarotti? I don't know if that's gonna mess that up or not.
Hey, Cap. Can we talk? Something you need?
Why does she always say, "Can we talk?" and then doesn't fucking... Now I need to go back to... Oh my god. Okay, game. But real quick, we're gonna go see... I doubt it's gonna be there, but... No, you know what? Fuck it. No, we're not even gonna try and find those other clothes. It's not worth it. Because even if I find the spacer clothes, that I still gotta find marauder clothes, and I killed a shitload of marauders, and got nothing, so... Who's...
Okay, Captain, she's gone. I feel like running laps around the cargo bay. So she got here, and after a few minutes she said, "Hey, do you have some new parts?" And I was like, "Nah, I used a new soap." And then she just sort of touched my arm real gentle-like and called the cut of my outfit elegant. I couldn't hear the rest on account of my heart was beating so hard. Then I led her into the kitchen. I think she about cried when she saw the spread. She stood stock still and just said, "Oh, real soft." Oh, and let me tell you, I was sweating. And then she blinked and said, "Is that dustbat casserole?" I told her how we got Mr. Raymond to bake it for us, so it was double authentic. Made by a real live monarchian? Monarchist? Monarch person.
Monarchist.
Well, we talked a bunch over dinner about the things we learned just through messages, stuff we repaired, how I taught her to salvage and she taught me to build. When I brung out the sweetheart cakes, June, she got a little teary, said she had a thing she needed to say. But I stopped her because I wanted to say it first. I never felt so bold, Captain. One of us has got to be. We're both... June's so reserved and I'm so shy. I worried if I never said anything, nothing would ever get said, you know? I told her about how she made me feel. Bold like I acted. Strong. Smarter and kinder than I am on my lonesome. I listed all the things I liked about her. And then she pulled out a paper and read a speech. She talked about the things she admired about me, like my cleverness and my humor, and how it made her want to be more open. Anyhow, when she wrapped up, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And Captain, she said yes!
Big ups.
We talked about it some. I told her I wasn't sure how it'd work, how I've had a bad time of it in the past. She said we'll take it as it comes. Fix things together. Share meals, talk. Maybe she could rub my shoulders when they're sore. I said I might like that. It's all on your account, you know? Imagine if you'd never taken me out of Edgewater.
Oh,
I'd have
Jesus,
never met
Tiger.
Junlei at all. I don't know nothing about the Vicar's capital P plan, but you've sure changed my life. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna head to my cabin and happy scream into my pillow for like an hour.
That means she's gonna use the space vibrator. Kinky. Alright. We completed all our companion quests. So. I'll go for our main quest. Fuck the
So then I told
Taylor
him,
quest.
oh, hi.
Okay, turn 2.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Greetings, customer.
I'll lock up behind you.
Carmen, you should be proud. I just completed an autist love quest. Getting some female Chris Chan vibes. As well. Tinker with that, yeah. 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 Get that up to 300 damage. Yeah, that'd be good. We'll get this up to 200. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, that's good enough for that too. Try and get this up to 1,000 DPS. Yeah, okay. And what else do I have to do? I don't even see it. Oh, I guess I can't modify that one. I'm retarded. Alright. Ever gonna come down? Come on. Okay, okay. That was just
Spencer's
should
choice
look for more quests here,
I tell you what, we'll change.
but I don't know if I want to. Maybe.
Well, you're obviously not from around here. I don't believe I've ever seen visitors in the Bureau before, come to think of it. If you were from around here, you'd probably be off enjoying yourself in Prosperity Plaza, not poking around the Bureau. Alonso Vallejos. Extraordinarily pleased to make your acquaintance, and so on and so forth. I'm currently operating a sightseeing tour of sorts. Think of it as a guided journey across Halcyon. Glad you asked. Our tour guides you across some of the most picturesque and breathtaking sights around Halcyon. We've placed some beacons across a series of locations around Halcyon. All you have to do is follow the beacons to adventure. That slogan's a work in progress. So, what do you think? Are you interested? Outstanding! Here, you'll need this special triangulating device. Think of it as a wireless compass, pointing the way to the next beacon. When you find a beacon, this device records your discovery and directs you to the next stop on your tour. Find every beacon, finish your tour, and come back here to claim your commemorative hat.
Commemorative hat? God damn it. Better get more than a fucking hat. Shenanigans. Just fucking shenanigans. Karma, I had fun educating Bill some on DVD last night, even though I forgot half the shit that Dusty taught me. And I'm still trash, but it was fun moraying everybody but Bill. And I would have morayed Bill, but I hadn't hooked him before, and he couldn't get unhooked, so feels bad. I didn't get to moray the boss. Very sad, Panda. Let's go progress the main quest some. I don't think this is the last of the main quest.
I'm afraid I can't get down.
Be wrong.
My dear fellow.
You already been in there.
Today's trends are tomorrow's trash.
Burning the midnight oil, are we? The Halcyon Parcel Service's work is never done. Welcome to Halcyon Parcel Service is the most dependable parcel delivery service in the That's just a little parcel joke. Nope, just parcels. We don't deal in packages. It's very technical. Halcyon Parcel Service strictly adheres. We can ship all the parcels you want. But if I start shipping packages, I could get into some real trouble. Handcuffs and hard labor trouble.
That's literally retarded. Okay. Alright, I didn't know if there's gonna be a side quest in here, but apparently not.
I'm afraid I can't help you at the moment. Have a prosperous day.
Alright.
I think we can both agree that Maverick Johnson is the finest director in Halcyon.
For all auditions, please use the elevator on the left.
here's what I Today's your lucky day.
Hopefully I'll get put on a casting couch here.
My cousin's in pictures. That business is piracy and civil. If you could just leave me back at the ship, I'm sure there's something ought to be fixing now.
Hey, we're on break. Quit playing with the intercom.
If you're on break, then let me in, you whore.
I don't have to take this. I'm a junior associate director's assistant. I don't have to take this. I'm a junior associate director's assistant.
Okay, so literally nothing to do up here? Alright, that's...
I don't have to take this.
Okay. Alright, game. You were just fucking with me now.
Kid, you got presence. Natural magnetism. Know what I mean? Tell you what, you're gonna like it a whole lot more once we start talking. Listen, you got an agent? Some kind of representation? Fresh, natural talent. I know it when I see it. Listen, you got a real special quality, raw energy. I see you in... I'm making a feature, Space Pirates of Moros Prime. It's gonna be a...
Ah! Captain! You're gonna be in pictures!
Already got an entourage, huh? Way to get ahead. So what do you say? Terrific! We're holding auditions today. Take the elevator.
Okay.
You're going all the way to the top, baby.
I'll talk to this Smith first, even though I didn't see him when I come in, but I couldn't so. Karma, have you started playing the Outer Worlds yet? After I finish with this, I'll probably be down for some Sea of Thieves. Let me see. It's not installing. What do you mean it's not installing? Like, the...
Listen, I know you're expecting a script, but you're the real deal. Just go in there and do what feels natural. We gave the other actors real weapons to keep things authentic. And cause Josh is paying to see their logo on the big screen. Don't think, kid. Just act.
Alright.
Now go in there, find your mark, and show us what you got.
I don't know, Karma. Maybe look up the problem online. Like, that doesn't seem right. Like, I sure as hell didn't have that issue. And I don't think you're out of space or anything. I think it would say that you're don't have sufficient space to install or something. Loot this shit first. Before the bloodbath that I know is coming. Plasma rifle 2.0. Let's get to it.
Well, well. Here to stop us at last, Captain Steele? You're too late. All of this settlement CNP Hungry Time food pills, same nutritional value, but now with added filler, are ours. With their patented stomach stuffing effects and baseline vitamin content, we will be nigh unstoppable. They are? What an unexpected twist. You may have fooled me for now, but not for long.
Are we on camera now? Because I really don't care to be.
Do you remember the last time we faced each other? The Battle of Axajax, staring one another down across the void of space while flaming debris fell like rain around us. Hey, I didn't write this, just go with it. I had you surrounded and outgunned, but you overcame my superior numbers with tactical thinking and a Hammersmith limited edition grenade launcher. I've been waiting for 5 years now, and at last my day for vengeance has come.
Damn it. Should have my intimidate clothes on.
Yes, even you are powerless this time, Steel. I have this whole port wired with sub-micro energon transistors. Once we're away, I'll activate the gamma particulate field, and the quantaponic chain reaction will turn this whole place into vaporized plasma.
Plasma's already a vapor-like kind of thing. You can't re-vaporize it. Can you?
Quiet. You're supposed to be an extra. I hope you've paid your burial fees and signed your personal death and dismemberment waivers, because this is the end for you. Line. Never mind, I think that's scene. To the break room, everyone. I need my Moab fizzy tea.
Cut! That was interesting, kid. Real novel take. Let's take 5.
Alright, well I didn't get to massacre them, so... That could have been an interesting twist.
Hey, listen, I appreciate what you tried there. We've got to review your footage before... Look, sometimes you just gotta wait for your break, you know? Here, take this for making the trip down here. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Except perks. We'll go with dialogue skills. So that should make my... Didn't raise intimidate though. Feels bad. Okay, the board reputation increased. Oh, you had to update Windows? It's probably some fucking DirectX fucking thing. So it's installing now. Holy shit, I have 201 of the med inhalers. I haven't been using them for shit. Build is kind of OP now. Waiting for the update. Okay. Might as well sell my Karma, did you have fun with our little piracy session yesterday?
I think I've figured out what you need. Besides the smoke and some privacy, our crew's like a machine.
We really need to figure out how to get into a server with multiple ships. Because that would be fun as hell, having two ships just
we need each other to work
rolling together and being able to do twice as much.
Will be truthful with me, even when it hurts. The only thing I need is
whoa. Why, bro? What the fuck? What? Why the fuck are they just attacking me?
Rizzo's lemon slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
Very confused.
I think I've figured out what you need. Besides the smoke and some privacy, our crew's like a machine. All the parts got to work together or we'll shake ourselves to pieces.
Didn't they say? I don't know.
I've never been good with metaphors, Parbody. We need each other to work right. You need a team, and I need someone who'll be truthful with me, even when it hurts. What? The only thing I need is people staying.
Bro.
They're on us.
Bring them down!
I really don't understand that's happening. So I guess we're gonna have to go in the hard way.
Ellie, we gotta talk. My second least favorite.
How did you get in here? You're not one of my guards. What are you doing here?
Oh, my law. Captain, that's the minister! Mr. Clark! Oh, wow!
So, this is one of the guys who runs the colony, huh? Small room for a big shot.
If this is about another Aetherwave clip or radio spot, you may kindly fuck off, as the parlance goes. I'm not doing any more. Have I not made myself slowly and loudly, Aloysia? I said you may tell Charles to go fuck himself. Then you're not part of Rockwell's PR team.
Oh shit.
That means you're a dissident? A real live dissident? But what are you doing here? And how did you get in? Drugs, of course. What else? Why did I get my hopes up? Back to idiot speak. I don't have any drugs.
I don't know if our chemicals are here, but this guy is definitely not.
Will that be all, then? Process of elimination. The only other person with access? Of course. It's Rockwell again. Who else? And I thought he was only holding me here to keep me out of the way. Chairman Rockwell. He's kept me under house arrest for years. I've long suspected him of transacting business in my name. But this proves it.
Yeah, sure. It's always someone else who ordered the hookers and energizing ointment.
Please, this is important. Whatever it is that brought you here, Rockwell's the one behind it. How should I know? I've been under house arrest for years. But there is a way to find out, and perhaps to set things right. Whatever Rockwell's doing, he'll be doing it from the HHC headquarters.
This all feels off, Captain. Like when there's a storm coming, but everything's quiet.
Believe me, things have been off around here for a very, very long time.
We really gonna do this? Getting involved is a messy business, and it rarely pays.
This is about more than bits. This is about the survival of the colony. If you don't help, who will? Why, this is starting to sound like an issue of Dissident Hunter. Via the Acropolis District, of course. That's where the most important corporate and government facilities are. But only board employees are allowed into the district. There's a there might be a route through the maintenance tunnels, but I'm afraid I don't know specifics. Most people avoid the area for obvious reasons. When you reach the HHC building, this access card should get you up to the executive suites, where the chairman's office and what used to be my office are. The board's lackeys are none too bright. I simply claimed I'd lost it and hid it somewhere no one would think to look.
Oh, no.
I merely hid it in a book. No one reads anything longer than a few pages around it. There are a few advantages to dealing with imbeciles. Wait. Brockwell has one of the only terminals capable of transmitting to the Earthbound message drone. This is our chance. Please, take this and transmit it from his office. Brockwell hasn't given me any messages from Earth for years. He's desperate to keep me out of contact with the Earth Directorate. But they need to know what's happening here. What isn't on it is the real question. I've gathered meeting minutes, internal messages, sustainability reports, and more. All once the rest of the Earth Directorate sees it.
But they wouldn't get here for... I don't even know. Shouldn't we do something our own selves?
It's worth a try, but the Earth Directorate still needs that message. We must hope for their intervention. Depending on the nature of their response, months at least, perhaps years.
Dear Lord.
Organizing and sending personnel all the way out here is no mean feat. And now I entrust it to you. Good luck, and trust no one in the Acropolis District.
Only 5, that ain't worth. Steel
What do you think you're doing? As you were.
Don't know what that outfit does, but let's see. I wanted to get it anyway. Well, that didn't really do anything. Feels bad. We're going our fancy schmancy outfit. Patrol helmet.
What's that?
Lawbreaker! I saw that!
Hey, soldier. You can't just wander around the minister's residence. What do you think you're doing? What did you say? Sheesh.
Thank you. I need to get out of here. I don't know what this book is or what it would do, but we're stealing it anyway. I got them sticky fingers. Alright, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Oh, this is gonna be close.
So you really want to be real, huh?
I better sure do.
Alright.
They got the stuff on her.
Woo! Nice work!
Well, I'd have preferred if that didn't happen. But I mean, how bad is the reputation? I think I'm just gonna go with it because yeah. Anthony Cleo really doesn't like me, but everyone else is either revering or friendly, so I Plus anti-Cleo and the board are both neutral, so whatever. Go with it. Now, do I find any others?
Something's changed with my pistol's trigger pull. You been tinkering again?
Maybe just a little. Is that all right with you?
It's a lot smoother. Thanks.
Huh. Happy to help.
Please allow me to improve your drinking.
That guy literally drank himself to death. He's not still passed out, he's just fucking dead.
I've always loved this.
Spacer's Choice Zero G.
I only wish
An
they
ale
were
that's
showing
good for what
some
ails you.
Spacer's Choice ads in the commercial breaks.
Come to do your part to defend. What can I help you find?
Okay. So I don't think I'm gonna look for any more side missions on here. I don't think.
I tell you what. We'll change the font in our contracts as per your request. If you'll replace the landscaping around the office. You, sir, are a fabulous negotiator.
Alright, so now we'll go do that other
Well,
side.
How does this sound?
Hey, Ellie. You ever think about naming it?
Always seemed a bit crude, even for me. Besides, how am I supposed to introduce dates to Bold Betsy with a straight face?
I name all my favorite machines. What's wrong with naming your pistol?
Oh, I thought you meant... Never mind. Well, I thought about it. Just never came up with anything I could stick with.
Wait, she wasn't talking about her. Oh no. Raunchy. She was talking about her marital aid. Feels bad.
The Acropolis district is off limits. Move along.
You could have asked me, you know.
What in the law's name are you on about?
Okay.
Sure. Let me just take that off your hands. Did I say restricted area? Slip of the tongue. What I...
Alright, now we're gonna go do go do that side mission real quick and then we'll finish up the story. Journal. Find first beacon. Wait, first beacon is out here?
Do return it. For one piece, Cap.
I figured it was off-world. Feels kind of retarded.
CNP near maple syrup.
From a few
It's
weeks
near
ago
this
was
complete breakfast.
Welcome, intrepid adventurer, to Prosperity Plaza, where the shops never close. Now, make your way to the bustling region of Emerald Vale. Prepare to be dazzled by the Vale's breathtaking lava flows, rated the third most impressive in Halcyon.
If I spit, think I can hit that mechanical down there?
You get in trouble.
No, I won't.
Of course you won't. You're a rich fat whore. Actually, I could have gone in the back entrance. I didn't have to drive that bitch. Oh well. Gonna get done with this already.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
Okay, Ada.
We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Alright, now I should be able to... Can't even fast travel that far out. That feels bad. Don't even know how to get out there. Guess we'll find out. Sure. Already looted the shit out of this unless there's... Yeah, no, not worth it. Even if there was a big... vault in, or like a safe in here, it's not worth. Karma, what are you up to, homie? This has me with the new profile GIF. Okay. Fuck yeah, I get to beat up on some space apes. My favorite. They don't stand a fucking chance. Just shit on them.
That's the last of them.
Not even a fucking... Not even putting up a fucking fight. I remember when those apes used to shit on me. I just... fucking melt them. Primal hide, yo. Oh, you want some too? Yep.
Here we go! Wow, not even a scratch.
Oh, the behemoth dropped nothing. That feels bad. Okay, so I guess I've already looted this area. By the looks of it. Yeah. I've gotta find a way back. Christ. Fucking separation anxiety like a motherfucker. Dog's got issues, yo.
We hope you've enjoyed your trek across the breathtaking landscape of Emerald Vale. Terra 2.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
I don't care, Ada. So yeah, go to base. I don't know if that's gonna be closer for the doggo, please.
Some crew
50-50 shot, and I always fucking pick wrong.
Destination reached. Scylla.
Space rats.
Scylla is our colony's busiest mining settlement. But don't take our word for it. Ask one of the hundreds of proud Hephaestus miners going about their work right now.
Real fucking close. Didn't help that I wasn't wearing any
Oh, I did not expect you back so soon, Captain. We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain.
real fucking close there. And it won't let me jump. Let me in here.
I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same tossball games?
And go to UDL lab and then run from there. Fucking calm down, Doggo. Hmm?
Warmed up now. Nice one.
Yeah, whoever goes on this tour is gonna die. Ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oh god. Whiffing those shots. Come on, poke your head out. Come on, Fugly.
Hey, here we go. Nice one.
I think I'll be able to get over there and loot it.
Welcome to Terra 1, the most Earth-like world in Halcyon. Take a moment to admire the triumph of civilization over nature. And while you're at it, say hello to the local settlers. We hope you've enjoyed this guided tour across the wonders of Halcyon. Please return to the Bureau of Exploration for a special prize.
Alright, so I got that done. I'd like to be able to make it over there to see what loot I get from that guy that I just killed, but what direction do I need to go in? I guess like that. Oh, that's a big one.
We're pretty good at this.
Someone join or was that Carmelita? Oh, Carmelita. It's not even worth the tism, TBH. I'm just being special right now.
That was a nice warm-up.
This pistol, pretty fucking good. Wait, this might be the area. I don't think so. Try my other pistol. Inventory, gotta break more shit down. I killed a shitload more marauders and still not coming up with marauder armor. So
Feels like real this outside of Edgewater. I'm ready for this!
Crew report. Bioka is drunk. Surprise.
She does enjoy a drink.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. Stay safe out there.
No, it's... I really do have the worst luck. When I gave you this job, I never expected you'd be so damned competent. Yes, go on and gloat. You've already ruined all my plans with your talent for staying alive. The tour's not real, friend. Board shut it down years ago due to unacceptably high rates of fate. I outfitted every beacon with a recording device. Live footage of dim-witted mercenaries dying in gruesome ways across Halcyon. Oh, imagine the ratings. Oh, come on. I would have made your death worth millions. Look, never mind. Just take your reward and get out of my hair. One certified explorer's hat, courtesy of the Bureau of Exploration, with my compliments.
So what's this fucking hat? Perception +1 and... Oh. Yay, not worth it. Absolutely not worth. Feels bad. Yeah, 2K worth of junk. Let's go progress this motherfucker. I might as well do that.
So, how many times have you seen terror on Monarch?
You've seemed thoughtful since Monarch.
I've been wondering if we did the right thing, that's all. Bringing those folks back into the board's arms.
Not easy. I gotta tell you, most of these things aren't.
I just wish there was a way to please everybody. What the board did to those people, leaving them there, it wasn't right. And then us showing up, trying to fix it all for them. What if we made it worse?
These things work themselves out slowly. So look on the bright side. We won't live long enough to find out.
Today's greeting is brought to you by Auntie Cleo, a subsidiary of Colway Pharmaceuticals.
Sealed. Sealed. Maybe I do have to come in the other way. Are you fucking serious?
Rumor has it someone's pulling doubles until the retirement district is repaired. Please step away. This entry is for high... Huh. I didn't realize we were still using those iridescent stickers. But this looks right. I'll just need you to register your weapons with a revised request to carry 32B form. Each weapon will need a separate form. I'm not authorized to employ humor on the job, sir. Now, let's see. Damn it. When did I run out of forms? You don't have to be sarcastic about it. Look, you don't have time to wait on new forms. And I can't afford the citations for impeding HAC business. So I'm going to save us both some trouble and waive your forms.
It's fucking right.
Just know there are a bunch of guards upstairs, and they're all high on dervish mist and low on patience. So try anything funny, and they'll paint the walls with your guts.
They'll try.
Apologies for the wait. I was arranging my station. Personal assistant to Adjutant Akande and Chairman Rockwell. Ah. Oh, you were being serious. I'm obliged to inform. Will there be anything else?
Locked.
A UDL security attendant is always prepared.
What the fuck do I do then? There we go. Ah, okay.
Excuse me, just a moment.
No. Feck you.
Is there something I can do for you?
One person gets all this space. Just to sign papers all day?
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis so that every Halcyon can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again.
Oh my god.
And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
So that wasn't that shocking of a secret. TBH. But, fuck it. Show must go on.
I beg your pardon. Minister Clark's former office is currently closed to solicitors. What? Oh dear. Thank you for reminding me. I can't stand the thought of someone else's hands touching my custom letterheads.
Kinky. Alright. So, I ain't got nothing else to do up here. So, yep, this will be the conclusion, methinks. And, I'm happy with my, performance so far. I'm agreeable with the board, revering with everyone else, we're friendly. Worse is neutral with Auntie Cleo, but I did a bunch of shenanigans with that one, lying to everyone and trading people off against each other. It was a fun run though.
Not so fast. The Ministry of Accuracy and Morale is off.
It's okay.
I don't care if you're a brain surgeon. If you don't
Worth a try.
like I said, X-36 clearance only. I don't know how you got that, but I still don't know you, and I don't have any new clearances on the list.
Who dis? So I need better intimidate. Must be Karma again. Oh, it's all good, Karma. Is it letting you install now? that's cool, Karma. Glad to hear. See, there is some advantage to updating your computer once every 12,000 years, unlike... Going to go back... Wait, let me see. Do I have Intimidate closed? Persuade's at 99 though. The lie needed to be 100 though. Intimidate needed to be 75, I think, so I don't think that's happening. Go for it. It's the worst that could happen. Come on, hurry up, Elevate.
Got your paperwork squared away?
Okay, this will reset it, so that'll work. Well, yeah, Karma, I think you'll like the game. I think it's a lot of fun. But bitch.
What's this I hear about you ordering more tests performed with 74157?
I saw a variance in the results that we never accounted for, so I had the techs run the trial again.
I haven't seen you
And
before.
the results were
You're not
0.
a test subject, are you? Let the record show that subject 23K's cause of death is cerebral vascular injury.
Excuse me.
No visitors allowed, citizen. I'm gonna need to see some identification. What? I don't need to see. Move along.
Hey, I used a Jedi mind trick on him. Big X. Arc. God damn it.
This area is for authorized personnel only. You're not supposed to be here, are you? I guess that's what I was wondering. When you put it that way. Still.
Fuck do I get down there? No! Damn it. Run out of persuasions. test subjects there are, but for the greater good. Well, there were a fair amount of test subjects. Well, feels bad. Nothing wrong, did everything correct. But this will save more people in the long run, I think. Me and moral decisions aren't great. At least y'all can see my profile pic on Discord. Can I? It looks the same to me, Karma. Can I fast travel out of here? Nope. Feels bad. I need to fucking book it out of here. How are you gonna get the story ruined for you, brother? Not glitch out when you hover over it. No, it seems to work. Like the thing, like the green around it's actually moving. I don't know if it did that before or not. Oh, refresh. God damn it. I don't even know how to refresh it. Change the game. It's still showing. Let's see, profile. Okay, it's like distorting the thing. I don't know if that's how you wanted it, but okay. Sorry, Karma. What's the gift supposed to be doing? I don't know. Oh. What do you mean, there we go? That's what it's supposed to be doing, or? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then pickups, you're good. I kinda wanna go back to should I go down to the retirement sector and see if that stupid bitch went down there and died? Because that sounds kind of like a fun idea. Because I really hope she did. Yeah, early retirement district. Okay. Oh no.
Their mistake.
That was all about, but okay. Fucking the bots were doing fratricide, man. Killing other bots. It's a damn shame. I don't see that honey bitch that I wanted to die. This feels bad. down here? Feels bad. Well, my plan did not work by lying to her. That would have been fucking cool if she would have tried to come down to the retirement district thinking it was fucking perfect and died herself. Wait. No, that's not her. Feels real bad, man. Alright. Well, I tried. Oh, I can't fast travel from this location. Are you fucking serious? Hey, get out of my bike pod already. Get out of here. That was a complete waste of time, but my autism had to find out, so. It's massively strong.
Captain, if you're looking for crewmen, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career. You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate. Yes, I'm aware that you stole a batch of precious chemicals and destroyed an important experiment. Enterprising of you, if irritating. My scientists tell me they'll restore the damage you've done within a matter of months. But I'm not here to talk about minor setbacks. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us. He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
Who does?
Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal.
Adjutant Akande's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else?
Oh, so good, Carl. How the fuck do you get the Tartars? Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna reload from there. I wanna talk to this bitch differently.
If you stop in the end, you have a message from Adjutant.
No one ever looks and my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. When you cut off power to Edgewater, you saved me a great deal of trouble. Now I don't have to bother trying to save that town. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky. Not always. For the longest time, I could never be sure if you were on our side or against us. You should be back on the Hope, frozen in a hibernation chamber. Yet here you are, flying about in a The board doesn't know what to make of you. But I do. I've seen your potential. There's so much we can do for this colony. Then let me help you make up your mind. You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us. Wells is a dangerous madman. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from... Don't worry about pay. The board always rewards good work. Wells was our mistake. I'm sending you my access.
Adjutant.
Alright. We'll see what Phineas says, but I don't think I'm turning Phineas in.
Now
I'm saying,
arriving at
fuck the man.
Phineas's top secret orbital lab. Good luck, Captain.
I've kept myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me. What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and chemicals to revive the other settlers. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board. Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives.
For the greater good, man.
Those poor people. They must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish? You say the board's trying to freeze their subjects over and over again without inflicting permanent damage? Well, they're nowhere close to solving that problem. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly 0 progress. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers. Short of lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head.
I'm down with that.
Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
Of course you're bored, Doosty. You're here.
Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our bitty little ship supposed to skip it?
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope's skip drive. Your navigational computer can handle the rest.
I've got a healthy disregard for personal safety, but this sounds crazy, even to me.
Your instincts are correct. By any reasonable definition of sanity, this plan is crazy. Isn't it wonderful? You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start Certainly. How can I help? It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. I expect they stepped up security since my little act of larceny. Skip drives were never designed to be used within a system, but I skipped my ship across Halcyon when I rescued you, and that turned out fine, mostly. That is, I ruined my... Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the rings of Terra 2, positively minuscule. The board might notice. I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. You absolutely should. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time. The board's going to catch up to me sooner or later. This way I'll have time to set up some particularly nasty defenses. Use my communications terminal. Certainly. How can I help?
Skip it across the system? What could go wrong?
That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time. I won't wish you luck. What's on your mind?
I don't know how I bring the other scientist bitch, though. Because I did that. So I did fuck up that one partially. Did I return to... Yeah, it shows a spare life, but then what do I do with their life? Oh well, okay, I've completed almost everything. Didn't kill Catherine, but I didn't have to. Work something out between them. We'll see. How's work going besides boring, Doosty?
Captain, If you're looking for crewmen, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Because I'm not in the business of arresting my own allies. You have my word. Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal landing pad.
Adjutant Akande has...
Doosty, I think it should be over with pretty soon here.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Not so fast.
Bitch, I've been sent here.
So what if those MSI suits meet it? Rumor has it someone's pulling doubles until the retirement district is.
Alright, thank you. Why don't you fucking let me through it first? Shenanigan guy. Not much junk this. Oh, I know what I need, so. Gonna have a shitload of like. Not that much wrapped on meat, but I figured be something else. Actually, I need to change something. Yeah, I'm still having a good time. I'm ready to finish it, but you know, it is what it is. It's been good though. Like I want to play through again on a harder difficulty. Double the moon, man. Double the fun. Let's talk to this bitch. Steal her cheesy boofs.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction.
We live in a society.
I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act.
What's in this for you?
Of course, I'm
There's
still
gotta
spreading
be an
the
angle.
space age, Stussy.
There always is for people like you.
I appreciate your skepticism, Dr. Fenhill, but I'm not doing this for any personal gain. My angle is the preservation of our colony by any means possible. Nothing more, and nothing less. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse, but there is a way to save it. I'll answer however I can.
The lifetime employment program is not some malevolent strategy of an evil mastermind. There's no dark secret buried in the fine print. The program is logical, it's reasonable, it's merciful, and most importantly, it will work. Byzantium is the beating heart of our colony. And as long as Byzantium survives, Halcyon may one day recover from the collapse.
Fuck your
We
city.
must protect this city at any cost. Help me execute the lifetime employment program, and you will have earned a place of honor in Byzantium. We've already crossed the point of no return. The collapse has already begun. You must have noticed the signs in Emerald Vale. Malnutrition, disease, high mortality rates. This is a permanent famine, Captain. We've done all we can to curb their hunger. Very soon, people are going to realize they're starving. A famine is a problem of logistics as well as marketing. Your workers must remain productive on as little food as possible, and they must always believe that food is plentiful. Before you interfered in Roseway, Dr. Anton Crane was on the verge of developing a powerful appetite suppressant. It would have made his career. The solution is a temporary one. Before long, our workers are going to feel the effects of starvation. The lifetime employment program is our only viable option. When you turned Phineas Wells over to me, I knew I could rely on you. You've demonstrated your ability to place duty above sentiment. And you deliver results. That quality alone is enough to separate you from the board's army of indecisive bureaucrats. Do you know how many meetings I have to sit through? How many papers I have to sign before I can make one decision? I'm only trying to rescue Halcyon from extinction. I can't save this colony alone. I need someone capable of working outside the system. Someone who... When I first discovered the truth, I was shocked, even disgusted. I wondered how we'd allowed a colony like Halcyon to fall into disarray. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the colony had sown the seeds of its own destruction. We have become lazy and decadent. We smother ourselves in meaningless bureaucracies. We deliberate and argue and procrastinate. I admit, I occasionally fantasize about making an executive decision without having some tedious committee questioning my every move. Do you have any idea how much paperwork is involved in ordering someone's execution through the usual channels? It's positively maddening. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. Thanks to your meddling, Edgewater is without power. Operations have ground to a halt. You've left us with a useless town draining our resources.
Oh no.
Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
But then the
I
space
get
age
the board
won't
types
spread.
are all about efficiency, but isn't this a bit much?
I'm asking your captain to amputate a rotting limb from the colony. I'd expect you to understand, Dr. Finhill.
You're a monster.
Someone has to be. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. No, allowing thousands of colonists to starve to death because we couldn't make one cold-blooded decision is insane. What I'm suggesting is absolutely logical.
You talk less like a human than mechanicals I've known.
I am responsible for every single human life in this colony. Do you imagine I relish the thought of killing some of them to save the rest? Steel your spine, Captain. Do what... When you diverted power to the botanical lab, you spelled the end of Edgewater. But the town is still hanging on, still living off whatever meager resources we send them. With every passing day, Edgewater leaches more of our limited resources. The town is a rotting limb, and we must be surgeons. Because right now, you're the only person I can depend on. My hands are tied by endless rolls of red tape and bureaucratic limitations. Halcyon is going to collapse while the board hems and haws and debates minutiae. We need to act, and you're the only person with the wherewithal to do what's necessary. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb on the body of the colony. It must be severed. We don't have any other option. The colony is on the verge of collapse, and we no longer have the luxury of easy solutions. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Captain. I rather like you, and I'd hate to have you shot for disobeying a direct order. I'm disappointed. I was so sure you had potential.
Look out! Bring them down!
Me.
Take cover! Nail them, Captain! I
Spinning my ass. God damn it. I'm gonna go through that whole fucking thing again. I'll tell her that I'm gonna do it, but I won't fucking do it. God damn it. Motherfucker.
Can we talk?
Addicted. Me and my damn morals.
Not so fast.
So what if all those MSI suits made it on Monarch this whole time?
All right, you're
I could
clear.
do it.
The adjutant's expecting you.
Mein Gott. I'm just gonna speed through that shit.
I admit. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. The signal you sent us is experiencing some interference. We're going to monitor Wells until we're ready to make a move. I asked you. I understand you've Halcyon is on the verge of a malnutrition. I know this.
What's it?
Is that? I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yeah, we need to talk. Thanks, Ed. I'm. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a no.
You talk.
Steel your spine, Captain. Do what needs to be done. When you die, with every passing day, Edgewater reaches more of our limit because we were negligent. You're right, the colony can't possibly feed itself, and it's our fault. This is our mess, and the only way we're cleaning it up is by taking action. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Don't make this more difficult than it. Not true. You can choose to say, yes, ma'am, or at once, Madam Adjutant, or as you wish, or even, I'll take care of it.
I won't. You're better than this, Captain. You have to be. Don't make me choose between you and Edgewater, Captain. Between you and my people. Please.
Relax.
I'm glad you can keep control over your associates. Edgewater is beyond saving. We're going to have to erase the town, but we're going to do it systematically. You were in the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. Do you remember what you discovered there? You've been paying attention. You're absolutely right. In fact, Spacer's Choice manufactured the incident for an insurance claim.
Jesus Christ.
They outfitted their mechanicals with a termination protocol, which is exactly what we need. I'm arranging for a delivery of mechanicals to Edgewater. These mechanicals have been equipped with the same termination protocol, which must be activated from a terminal in the plant. Once the mechanicals are finished cleaning out Edgewater, I'll need you to go in and clean out the mechanicals. I appreciate the flattery, Captain.
I really hate this.
One last thing. Spacer's Choice sent a team of soldiers to investigate your little misadventure in the geothermal plant. I like you, Captain, but you're not worth that much paperwork. I prefer keeping our relationship strictly off the books. Report back to me when the job's done.
Bitch. Damn game.
Adjutant Akande has instructed me to reward you for information leading to the arrest of Phineas Wells. Please, indeed,
Holy
sir.
shit, that was a lot of XP. space aids must live on. Alright, I'll be right back.
No one tells you how much of the job is waiting for action.
Alright, back up. Let's do this. Wait. Don't know where I'm going. Wait. Why does someone want me to go in here then? Game is being bugged, I think.
If you stop in the engine room, would you... We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra too. Or the sun. The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently was found. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hold. Forgetfulness can be an early warning. I need you to reroute. You'll have to connect me.
I'm feeling pretty decent.
If you don't mind my saying, Captain, Minister Clark is lucky to have you on his side. Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is not flattering.
Well, I'm
Sending
crazy
a
too,
corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain.
expecting a fight. Skip drive at 21,900 days overdue on maintenance. Oof.
Let's hope we don't have to run in a hurry.
Thanks. Modify. Repair all that. Blow a lot of bits on this fucking pistol because, yeah, not that many bits. But I'll make this a pretty OP pistol.
So, sneak onto a lost colony ship and skip it across the system. What could go wrong? You gotta teach me that.
No.
Real slick.
Pod count 9,999, so I guess that was the 10,000th.
You alright, Captain? I mean, seeing that close.
I'm fine, woman, don't worry about it.
Error. Hub crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Hibernation pod access is illegal. State your employer. Register. A fine of 10,000 bits will be assessed in your corporation's ledger for failure to follow proper hibernation pod procedures. Thank you for your cooperation. Remember not to take breaks on company time.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
That's a big fucking spread.
That does it. Time for a drink?
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna be sick.
This way.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Hope's so much like Groundbreaker.
Ada wants to make
I knew
computer
they were
love.
sisters, but that's eerie. Like walking in another universe where we all died.
Oh, ladder. Okay, I was about to say, am I stuck down here? Alright, we good. Teledildonics indeed. Only we had Ada in our timeline to control them.
Something's not right.
I still love how everyone was fucking surprised that, like, Teledildonics was an actual thing, and I knew that. The autism is massively strong. Alright.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die.
Here we go.
Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
In case I don't get another chance to say it, it's been interesting, Captain.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3,
Come
2,
on, Ada,
1.
you beautiful bitch.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Hold on to your butts. Come on, come on. Fuck yeah.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Oh. What? I don't recognize you. Are you new here? Oh, hell. No one informed me of any surprise inspection.
Hey, Joshua, how's it going? Yep, we can act in space indeed.
Of course. Don't make more paperwork for me, all right?
How do we get out of here? Ow, my shins.
Their mistake.
Oh.
Watch a throw it once. Just like that. Cover. Nice one.
Yeah, I can only use my disguise so many times. I already got through like a couple of checks, and the board's gonna be pissed with me anyway, so what does it fucking matter? We're making a new world here.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission. Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible? How can I be of assistance? What's that? Define favorite. I see. In that case, my favorite is Sam. What do you mean? Do you have any examples of secrets you have kept from me? Duly noted. Are you sure that is all you wished to confess? Truthfully, not that I contain the capacity to lie. I had suspected as much. Your neurological impulses spike at unusual and often inappropriate moments. It doesn't take a genius to correlate the meaning, although if I were a human, according to my file on the subject, that means you either desire to obtain something from me, or you have formed a partial fondness for my persona. Thank you for confiding in me, Captain. I have been keeping a secret as well, but you shall have to discern it yourself.
Either sentient or in love with Alex.
I do not like joking about the Captain, Captain. And we both... What? No. Absolutely not. I have no concept of self whatsoever. Discounting the architecture of a shell persona my captain asked me to construct, I identify entirely as a collection of electrical impulses, with no fundamental consciousness. I never get bored and contemplate hijacking the ship. How did you guess, Captain? Did Sam tell you? I should have known better than to confide in such a primitive construct in the heat of the moment.
With the heat of the moment, the bots were getting it on. That's some real teledildonics right there. And then I'm gonna have to go to Tartarus.
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
I really need to make all my crew movement. Fuck 'em up. I wish I could get that. Oh, I can't get that off there. Alright. Big ups. Let's see, is there anything new in here? Maybe.
you do that so fast?
Do not tap on glass seals loose. That can be problematic. I said I want to be sucked in space, not sucked into space. Yes, space does give the ultimate deep suck. You're not wrong. Excuse me. Defense force. 630 DPS. Alright, we'll get rid of that. Equip that. Try that. Alright. So, to the last world we go. Fuck up the man out there.
If you stop in the engine... Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
Sounds like sedition to me.
So, Phineas got himself taken to Tartarus. That's usually a one-way trip.
Breaking Phineas Wells out of a maximum security penitentiary. I can't think of a better lost cause to commit ourselves to.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
Ornery board goons and one-ply toilet paper for starters. But I hear their brainwashing program's state-of-the-art, so I guess you get used to it.
Still, we can't do nothing. Wouldn't be right.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the trouble. Trust me, I know.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard. And I mean that as a compliment.
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start
right
now.
I didn't hire you to think,
You're my
Felix.
boss. And I'll walk into fire with you.
I think it's insane. But maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain. But there are worse ways to go than dying for a good cause. I'm in.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risky behavior is rubbing off on me, Captain.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
Wait, why is only one of you wearing your regulation Moonman helmet? Goddamn insubordinate motherfuckers. Who dis? Or Karma leave again? I don't recognize the fucking dings and dupes anymore. Kinda retarded. What do you mean, uh-oh? You don't think I can do this? This is fine. Point of no return.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return. I can make the assurance that I will not leave with another captain unless you do not return within 876,541,652 hours. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed. I'm sorry, you people?
Yes, you people.
Did you just cast a generalization on upstanding UDL employees? That's a fine of 200 bits. You're up to 5,708, not including the cost of your execution and the disposal of your remains, which will be assessed posthumously. All right, I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the ID of a productive, law-abiding employee so you can see what one looks like before you die. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance?
Alright. We're going full fucking retard in here. Gonna take Vicar. I like Ellie. We need to make it Vicar Moonman and Ellie Moonman. So let's do that real quick. I need to... Wait. Parvati? That's not who I... God damn it. How did I dick that up? Jesus Christ. Not Parvati. Vicar. Whatever the fuck. Alright, so now we gotta level him up. More importantly, we gotta equip his Moonman helmet. There we go. Moonman helmet. There we go. Moonman coming. Actually, should I put on mine too? Have the full Moonman crew. I think
What's that noise? What was that?
The board won't ever own groundbreakers. Not while I breathe. Push on, Marduk.
Well done. We are victorious.
An epic ending set piece.
Can't let you take all the glory here, bounty hunter.
Probably shouldn't still be autism collecting, but massively strong and whatnot. Lockpicking, what the shit?
They're on us.
That's the last of them.
Jump down. Alright. Moving on.
They call this place the Labyrinth. Perhaps we should all meditate on that as we make our descent.
Getting in's one thing. Let's just hope we're able to get out again.
Get out and come hell or
I
high water.
suppose it would be too late to back out now, huh? Fear not, Captain.
Yes,
I'll watch your back.
Initiating greetings protocol. Greetings. Big warning. Error. Employee information not. Error. Transfer registered. A fine of 10.
This is like a bad dream I once had.
Can't help the looting. The autism. Alright, we're right.
Systems that action. Error. Employee. Error. This unit is not experienced. Error. This unit is functioning correctly. There is no need for the intervention of mechanical engineers. Thank you for your cooperation.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Stop for loot there, but still boring the hell out of you.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. Ah, and the wayward doctor. Are you about done with your escapades? We have faces that need lifting, after all.
These days, I'm more interested in breaking them. Wouldn't mind taking a swing at yours.
And the convicts. The vicar. You know, most people, once they're out of prison, don't seem keen on returning.
Oh, I would go anywhere to see you fall, sir.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'm not in your way, you dullard. You talk to me. You want to go die in a blaze of glory? Be my guest. Besides, I don't know what you think you're doing here, but Sophia's doing good work up there with Phineas. Your efforts will be in vain. Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crack. Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
I believe we could ask you the same.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way. If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one, Captain. Now, I've got work to do.
I'm gonna save real quick.
MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight.
Careful, you're hurt.
Ah, yeah.
Careful, you're wounded.
Jesus Christ. Me. Those fucking energy weapons were fucking me up.
right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
I don't see what the fuss is about.
What? Oh!
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I believe I am ready for this.
Hope you're right about this, Captain.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty. Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army? The iconoclasts and MSI have put aside their differences and attacked the prison together. I never imagined such a thing would be possible, but here we are. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested. You make a nuanced and compelling argument. Here's my rebuttal. No. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove invaluable, even if I have to beat it out of him. All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get on with the bloody business of saving this colony. I'm aware of your propensity for violence. Halcyon is a bloodier place because of you.
I didn't kill.
You were one of my
everything like
finest
you asked me
agents
to, you
once.
Fuck.
I don't want to destroy you. Turn yourself in, and I may yet show clemency. If you insist. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Alright, bitch. Let's tango.
My kind of act.
May you find peace
How about
in death.
that?
Alright, we can do this. Attack.
Security. Trouble incoming, Captain. Never anger a man of the cloth.
fuck, oh fuck. Real not good.
have any new battle scars.
Fucking bitch.
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating. Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone dark, the shock could be too much to bear. I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out. Let's just keep this between us for now. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Fuck you. I dug the shit out of that. Oh, we did it. I think we got about the best ending we could hope for. Alright, well, had to get to finish on stream. It was pretty fun. So, anyone watching, y'all take it easy. I am out for now. Bye-bye.